Good morning. Happy Monday. Just a quick thought. I've been thinking about my own personal biases as far as what happened with the Calhoun or Cohoun plaintiff and the Marquette County Sheriff and Samuel Hall. And my own personal bias was that I believed the plaintiff. I believed the complaint. And that can sometimes lead to issues. I've had issues with that in the past. Where I come to a belief about what's going on in a case prior to getting all the facts and information. And I know that in one particular instance, I didn't believe my client was telling me the truth because of what seemed like an overwhelming wave of evidence against my client, when it turns out that the person who was accusing my client of doing the horrible things had a medical condition, hepatic encephalopathy. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's a condition where when you have a bad liver, you get confused and disoriented, and your brain isn't working right. And so all the things that, all the accusations slowly unraveled, and it turned out my client wasn't lying. And that was a valuable lesson to me. And I haven't actually internalized it entirely, obviously, because when I heard the story from Leonard French, I believed the plaintiff, listen and believe. It's not a good practice to do that. So I have to fight that urge. And I want to thank whoever it was who asked me what I would do if I was defense for the Marquette County Sheriff, because that helped me to put things into perspective. We don't know what the facts are. We have allegations of what the facts are. We don't know what the plaintiff will be able to prove in court, because there's a difference between saying my doctor said X and actually putting your doctor on the stand and having your doctor say X. There is a world of difference there. One is hearsay, and the other one is a pretty good indicator that what you're saying is true. So there are a lot of variables. Was the police report? The plaintiff alleges that the police report from the sergeant corroborated her version, and we don't know. We haven't seen the police report, and a police report would have to be, the custodian of records would have to come out onto the stand, or at least in California. I'm sure that whatever state that they are in, they'd have similar rules of evidence where some sort of a custodian of records would have to come out and say that this is in fact the record, and it's true and it's accurate and complete. And then you'd also have to get the sergeant up on the stand, because the sergeant might just be writing down what he believes. I mean, he's not writing that under penalty of perjury. He might have said, yeah, that's what I thought was going on at the time, but I misheard or misunderstood or whatever. We don't know. There's lots of things that we don't know. Now, I am not saying that the Cohoun gal is wrong. I'm not saying that the Marquette sheriff is wrong. I'm saying that from what it sounds like Cohoun still has a really good case against the sheriff, and there's a lot of indicia of her being honest, because she's going for nominal damages and not trying to get some big cash award. And she did try with an early settlement letter to say, hey, just accept that what you did was wrong and say you're not going to do it again, and I won't proceed further. And the sheriff refused to do it. So there's indicia that the sheriff is wrong and that Cohoun is right, but it hasn't come out in court. Now, I also want to point out that there is a world of difference between me being biased towards a plaintiff in a First Amendment lawsuit and me refusing to accept facts and refusing to accept the potential innocence of someone, or rightness or wrongness of their particular side of the case. Whereas with certain other individuals, like, for example, Smash Anarchy or Surfith or Michael Lucas or Eric the Fatigued, a lot of these guys, who I'm not trying to convince, by the way, I'm not trying to convince any of these jokers that they're wrong. I am offering them as examples to the less biased people of the world. Their particular positions, for example, with Weinstein, Jeffrey Weinstein. Jeffrey Weinstein, according to them, is innocent. It doesn't matter that every defense that they've raised or that has been raised has been rejected by the jury and by numerous appellate judges. None of that matters. He was set up, it was a hit, etc., etc. None of the facts matter. The fact that he got a full and fair trial with not one but two attorneys advocating for him, and they had every opportunity to present every defense, and they didn't put the FBI agents. The FBI agents would not have helped them, as we covered. But still, in their minds, Winehouse is 100% completely innocent. Couldn't have done it. And in their minds, this sheriff of Marquette County, who's done maybe something wrong, but we don't know. We've only seen the complaint. He's guilty. And how dare attorneys be so unethical as to defend someone who is so obviously guilty? Do you see the difference? I'm open to whether or not the sheriff is guilty or innocent. I mean, my bias is that he probably did something wrong, but he may not have. We don't know. My bias says that Earl Warden is guilty of attempting to rape his daughter or continuous sexual molestation of his daughter. That's my bias. Reality is he might be innocent. And there's a lot of people who don't like that he might be innocent because they're invested for whatever reason in him being guilty, but he might be innocent. And it's going to come down to a court of law. He might be innocent. The Marquette sheriff might be innocent. The Winehouse, probably not innocent. There's a potential. He might be innocent. But the difference between Winehouse and Marquette sheriff and Earl is that Weinstein actually had a trial. At a trial, all the facts were laid out. There's nothing supporting Winehouse's innocence other than speculation. Could have been. Could it have been? Yeah, it could have been. Is there any evidence to support it? No, but it could have been. Oh, the sheriff or the deputy, whatever, could be, or the highway patrol, the trooper, he could be a liar. He could be. But there's no evidence to suggest that Winehouse is innocent. Anyway, I've rambled on for long enough. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to try to keep your biases in check, and you can only start to check your biases once you become cognizant of them. And if you're believing that Winehouse is innocent, despite him having gone through a trial, and the Marquette sheriff is guilty, despite him having not gone through a trial, well, maybe you should think about that. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.